Okay, so in this section, we are going to learn about the search function. Okay, so the search function is, search. It means we are going to find something. So it is common to generate a search function. Although JavaScript has a built-in function, so in the JavaScript we can look at some function. So there are some limitations. We can have several ways to write a filter for the search function. So there are three ways. First is using the basic filters, or we can filters with query, or we can filters with Django filters. Okay, so I will just continue from the previous project, and then we will utilize the basic filters. And yeah, we're going to learn about the query and Django filters as well. So in the basic filter, we will use query to filter any inputs from user. So first, we need to provide a form for user. And the form should include any input that we want user to filter the data. Okay, in this example, we will use get method to process the form. So let's see what is the get. So let's create the bootstrap template for our website. Okay. This is the base.html. So the base.html has no navigation bar. So let's just make a navigation bar. Okay, so the red color means the navigation bar in the base.html. You can go to the base.html. I'm sorry, maybe yeah, you need to make the base.html. So after the container, let's put this navigation code. After the container, let's put the navigation code. Let me check. So if I start, okay. So if you refresh, you will see the header. Okay. So at least we can see the header. We can see the home, and then we have the member. Okay. But in the home, you can log in, and you can have the user who are me 203, something like this. Okay. So the navigation, I guess you know already the navigation. The first navigation is home. It means if I click here, it will go to the URL home. And then the second is member. So if I click here, then it will go to list members. Where is list members? The list members is a part of the user MGMT. So the list member is in the here in the URLs we have list members. Okay, so it means whenever you define name, as I mentioned before, please make a unique name. Wherever you define this name, whether it is in this app or whether it is in other app, as long as you can call the name, it can go to anywhere. Okay. So that's the meaning by this code. Now, I would like to have the search basic. I'm going to continue with the user MGMT. Let's append a function search basic in the views.py in the folder user MGMT. So let's make a new function. In the user mgmt, in the fuse.py, let's make a new function. So this is a function. I'm going to use get. So there's a get and post. So now I'm going to use get, and here we are going to get the query as Q. So what does it mean? You will check later. And then you are going to search for the string, and the string is in the queue. And I'm going to put those string into this SQL. What is this SQL? So I'm going to check the member, and I'm going to filter it based on the first name. And when the first name contains something that you input in queue. Okay, so we will look at the queue later. After we have this, so now let's put a link in the user mgmt, the urls.py. Let's put a new link, which is search basic. So in the user mgmt, in the urls.py, let's put a new link. So this new link is search basic. And after I have this new link, now let's go to the list members.html in the folder templates, and let's put this red color. Okay, let's put this red color. So this is after the container in the list members. After the container, okay, let's put a form. If you run this, if you run this one, you need to run based on this link. Okay. So we see that the link or the path is using the urls.py here. The name of the path is search basic. Okay. So I'm going to go to the member search basic, and I have Q. What is Q? Okay. So let's suppose I delete the Q. What happened? If I delete the Q, then there will be errors. What is these errors? This errors is about the members. What is this member? If you look at this function, search basic, okay, members will be a result after you get the Q. Okay. So if there is no Q, then it will be errors. So what is the meaning by Q? So the Q, I have the question mark. Q equals to blank. So Q represents a variable that you will insert in this text box. So for example, I want to add A. So I want to search the first name when the name contains A. So if I search this one, you will see that now Q contains A. If you change this B, then when you click search first name, the Q here, or we call it the query, becomes P. Okay. So we call this is the get method. You can use this get method in other website, for example, in Google. Okay. So in Google, they use the get method in order to understand the sequence of your searching. Let's say I want to find something, I don't know, information system. What did you get here? This is a query. So Google used this kind of query using the Q information, and it gives you the keyword that you search. So information system. So what does it mean by the other variable? So the other variable means something related to this computer, something related to the operating system that you use, something related to the web browser that you use, something related about the computer that you use, and etc. So Google can trace, if you are the user of this computer, what are you searching? So after I search information system, let's say I'm searching about database. So this is a kind of sequence, and it keeps like moving by the time. Now, we need to understand what is the meaning by this. So action refers to the URL link that you're going to point out. Okay, so the Q is something related to the information that you want to find. You can specify the action in the form. In most of the previous example I use, post method. But in this example, I use get. So what is the difference between get and post? For the get, it requests data from a specified resource, and it will show the parameter in the link. Okay. So whenever you ask, okay, I want to know someone with the name A, then it will be shown in the link. Okay. The parameter link will show the information. So the query string is sent in the URL. But what about post? Post means you are going to submit the data processed to a specified resource, and it will transfer the parameter data by storing in the HTTP message body, and you can retrieve the parameter using variable. It means you do not need to share in the URL. So the post is more secure. The post is more safe. When you use get, what is the benefit of using get? Get request can be cached. Do you know my meaning of this one? Cache. It means whenever you go to a website, that website can know who are you. That's why some website they prefer to get your cookies. So that's the meaning by cache. They will save your information. So using the get, your data can be saved. And if you use get, it can be in the browser history. So in Chrome, there's some kind of browser history. And get can be bookmarked. So you can save and then you can visit that page later. Get requests should never be used when dealing with sensitive data. So if you are using the login function, then you should not use get. Get requests have length restriction. So until now, as far as I know, it gives until 255. But I think it has been extended by the web. And GET request should be used only to retrieve data, okay? Not to save data, not for sign up, not to enter the data into the database, okay? Only to get the data. For post request, yeah, you can say that post request never cache. It means they will never save your data. And post requests do not remain in the browser history. Post requests cannot be bookmarked. And post requests have no restriction on data name. When you have name equals to Q, so it will be transferred into the Python file. So the input Q will be the parameter of the query. So in the fuse.py, we would like to query based on the first name. So if you want to filter according to the other attribute, so you need to modify the query and also the input in the HTML. So you can see, and here you use first name as the query attribute. You can change this one. For example, I want to check based on the last name. And if it is based on the last name, when you refresh, okay, so this is still based on the last name. Let's say I put C. Now it shows based on the last name. So please remember that whenever you use the cat, you will see all the information like this one. And you can also have the query with multiple values. For example, if you use list in the Python, you can see in the list. So in the list, you can see something like my var equals to 1, 2, 3, and my var equals to 5, 6, 7. So it is in the Python with list 1, 2, 3, comma 5, 6, 7, like this one. So if you want to get the code in the Python, then you can just get the list, request.get.list my file. Then you will get those two numbers. We can do filters with some packages. In Django, they provide the package or the additional package for the filtering on the data. So before running the Django filters, let's add the models with additional attributes or columns. Okay, let's update the models. So in these models, I would like to have three things. Okay, the first part is I'm going to put time zone. The second part, I would like to put job choices. And the third part, I want to put the red color section. So let's go to the model. So I will just copy and paste this one. And then I go to the models. So in the models, I have the time zone and then I have job choices. I hope that you understand tuple in Python. If it is 0, then it means student. If it is 1, it means employee. If it is 2, it means admin. Now I would like to add the red color section. Okay. the red color section, I can put into the models. So I have age will be integer and the default is 0. Date join. So I want to know when the member join and the default time is now. Gender will be a character and maximum is 10. The default is male. And job, it is integer and the choices based on the job choices. What is job choices? This is job choices. So the input will be integer. If I input 0, it means the result will be student. If I input 1, the result will be employee. If I input 2, the result will be admin. Okay. Now, note this one. You need to use default parameter since it is an additional attribute. So this is just for a note. Let's say, later on when you do your final project, you already designed the ERD until this part, but you miss something. Oh, I need to do more attributes. Okay, you can update the attributes, but please remember, set up the default. If you don't set up the default, there might be some errors for the additional attribute. So in many cases, additional attributes are not allowed to be null values. Hence, you need to define the default values for all the data. Afterward, we can modify the data if it is necessary. And you can set and map the data according to the particular values. So for example, job values might be too long. So you can use integer to represent particular job. 0 is student, 1 is employee, 2 is admin. So you can write a tuple of a dictionary. If you understand Python, I hope that you understand about the tuple. And it is to map the value of integer into particular job. So in the table job, you need to describe the integer value based on the choices defined by the tuple, which is the job choices. Because we have some updates, please do not forget to do the make migration and migrate. Okay, let's do the things. Let's go to the terminal and then let's do the make migration. Okay, when we do the make migration, there will be new field, which is member, date join, gender, job, and then I will do migrate. After you do the make migration, after you do migrate, then everything has been set up. Now let's make a new data. Okay, let's make a new data. Maybe I will just connect to this database. So the data will be in the member. Where's the member? Oh, I don't have the member here. Okay, here is the member. So, okay, I have two members. Now you will see there are more attributes. It's 0, and then the date of join is by the time now, and gender is male by the default, and job is 0 by the default. So let's say I'm going to update, let's say the age is 15, and the other is, let's say, 20. And then let's say the gender is here is female. And then let's say this job is 1. Okay. Okay, after I do this one, let's reload it. Oh, sorry. After you update this one, in the database, you need to do commit. Okay, so if you update using this section, you need to commit or submit. So after you commit, then yeah, the data will be updated according to this one. So you will see the result. Let me just go to the member. Oh, not yet. Search basic. Ah, I forgot one thing. Let me continue first. So I'm going to teach you how to do the filtering in easy way. So it requires one filter from Django. Okay. So I will install this one. And yeah, I tried to check it from the Django yesterday. So once you update with the new Django filter, okay, so pip install Django filters. So it will update everything in your computer, including maybe the Django. Okay. I think my Django is not updated, but it's okay. Okay. So please install the Django filter in your computer. And after you have this filter, let's make, okay, so it is a node. Now the Django filter is good for Django framework more than version 2. Okay, because we are using version 4, I think there will be no issue. So let's create a new file, filters.py in the user mgmt. This is filters.py in the user mgmt. Let's make filters.py. So we will check this one later. Okay. We are going to make filtering based on the field salutation, first name, last name, age, and gender. And then in the views.py, let's make a new function. Okay. Let's make a new function search. Let's make a new function search in the views.py. So this function search will give you all the objects from members, and then it will filter based on the query set. So we are going to check on the list search.html. So the list search.html will go to this one. Okay. We set up the link in the urls.py. Let's make another search. And the search name will be search member 2. And the link is search like this one. And then we are going to make a new search list search.html in the templates. Wait a moment. This one is in the user mgmt. Okay. So let's make a new HTML file in the list search.html. And let's just copy and paste this code. Now let's look at the result. Now you can see there will be information about age, gender, join date, and job. Okay. So if I do with this salutation, I want to check the salutation Mr. So if you search, then yeah, it will search only the Mr. Or if you have the first name is A, then it will search only the first name with A. So this one is the filtering from, this is the filtering from the filters.py. We just specify 5 attributes: salutation, contain for the first name, except for the last name, and age we have range, and gender start with. And yeah, you can see the salutation is exact, first name is contain, last name is exact. Exactly means, yeah, we want to get the exact data. The age is in the range, so it means we are going to get the greater than and some kind of age in the range. And gender starts with, so if we set F, then it means we are going to set only the female. If we set M, then we look at the male only. So there are so many expressions that we can use for those filtering. Yeah, that's why last time I give you the assignment, okay, because we can have another kind of filter like LT, which is less than, LT, which is less than or equal to. We have exact, we have range. So it is to measure the numerical variables. Yeah, the member filters means I want to get the information from the member filter, and then I'm going to query from the member filter, because the query from the member filters only this one. From the member filters we have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attributes. So you see only 5 attributes on the side. Let me update about the member form.html. Okay. Member form.html. So previously, if you still remember, we defined the salutation, first name, last name, email. But we have more attributes. So we have age, gender, job, and etc. If you put all those things, I think it will be tedious task. So you can delete this one, and then you can just put form. Form, it means you will just get all the attributes from the model. After you get this one, if I refresh this, so if I add new member, okay, so now the new member will include every attributes, including age, date join, gender, and of course the job. So for example, I put Mr. name, let's say Park, last name, him, email, pbb@pbb.com. It's, let's say, 30. Join today, mail, job. Oh, the job is automatically changed to text, not numbers. Student, employee, admin. So let's say I'm choosing admin. So if I save, then okay, it goes to the member. In the member, we still do not include any information. So let's go to the search. Then we will see the new member, which is pbb@pbb.com, pub, him, and then the job is 2. Okay. So the last one that I want to mention to you, sorry, maybe I need what 5 minutes. I have a question. You see the job 0, 1, and 2. It is the data where 0 means the student. 1 is employee. 2 is admin. But you cannot see in the table. The value is still integer. So how to show the job instead of integer? Okay. So the result will be something like this. Job, if it is 0, then I would like to show student. If job is 1, then I would like to show as employee. How can you do this one? So please try to find the answer, because this will be one question on the mid exam. Okay, the answer will be from the basic template that you already done, if you still remember. The basic template in the chapter 3. Okay, please look at this one. You can use if. So how will you apply the if to that particular column? If you can answer this question, then I guess the mid exam for you will be okay. Okay. You can discuss with your friend first before the mid exam, but on the mid exam, you need to do by yourself. Okay. Okay, I think that's all for today. Sorry for